Welcome back to Thinkasium Lab GOAT Series, Episode 13, where we explore great thinkers who help us understand human values and what it means to live a meaningful life. In our previous episode, we discussed Charles Taylor, who showed how our moral values are shaped by the cultural worlds we inhabit. But if culture shapes our values, the next question becomes, how do human beings actually live those values in the real world? To explore that question, we turn to one of the most influential political philosophers of the 20th century, Hannah Arendt. Hannah Arendt was born in 1906 in Germany to a Jewish family. She studied philosophy in Germany and learned under the great philosopher Martin Heidegger. But history soon changed her life. When the Nazis rose to power, she fled persecution, first to Paris and later to New York. There, she eventually taught at the New School for Social Research, where she continued writing and teaching until her death in 1975. Arendt lived through some of the darkest moments of the 20th century, and those experiences shaped the questions she spent her life exploring: power, responsibility, and the role of citizens in public life. One of her most influential books is The Human Condition, published in 1958. In this book, Arendt explains that human life involves three kinds of activity: labor, work, and action. Labor includes repetitive tasks needed for survival, things like cooking, cleaning, or basic production. Work refers to creating things that last: homes, tools, institutions, and technologies. But for Arendt, the most meaningful human activity is action. Action happens when people interact with one another in the public world, speaking, debating ideas, and making decisions together. Think about citizens discussing the future of their community or someone courageously speaking up for justice. For Arendt, these moments of shared responsibility are where human freedom truly appears. But Arendt also warned that when public culture becomes unhealthy, something philosophers like Charles Taylor worried about when discussing distorted moral horizons, people may stop thinking independently and simply follow systems or authority. In her later work, Eichmann in Jerusalem, she described this danger as the banality of evil. Ordinary people, she argued, can participate in harmful systems not because they are monsters, but because they stop thinking critically about their actions. Her response was simple but powerful. Societies must cultivate independent thinking, open dialogue, and responsible participation in public life. And in a world increasingly shaped by powerful technologies and artificial intelligence, Arendt's warning may be even more important. Human beings must never surrender their responsibility to think and judge for themselves. Arendt's ideas also offer important lessons for families and parents. Raising children is not only about helping them succeed individually, it is also about preparing them to participate responsibly in society. Children should learn to think independently, listen respectfully, speak with courage, and engage thoughtfully with others. These habits help ensure that people do not simply follow harmful systems, but instead contribute thoughtfully to the shared world we all live in. Some critics argue that Arendt paid too little attention to economic inequality and social barriers that prevent many people from participating fully in public life. Others believe her vision of active civic engagement may seem somewhat idealistic in large modern societies. Yet Arendt's ideas remain deeply relevant today. In an age shaped by technology, social media, and artificial intelligence, machines may assist with many tasks, but human responsibility, dialogue, and public action cannot be automated. And perhaps that is Arendt's lasting reminder. A meaningful human life is not only about what we produce, but about how we act together in the shared world we build. Thank you for watching Thinkasium Lab GOAT Series on human values. If this made you reflect on your own values and actions, please like, subscribe, and join us for the next episode, because human flourishing begins with awareness.